Hello, fellow Photoshoppers. It is I, Mark Elmo Ellis with PhotoshopTrainingForum.com, where we teach you clearly and concisely how to use Adobe Photoshop. Today we're going to learn how to use the sponge tool so we can saturate and desaturate an area of the picture. And the reason that you would want to do this is, for example, let's just say, for example, we wanted to make this a little bit greener or a little bit more bluer. Saturation and desaturation operate in two opposite ends of the spectrum. With desaturate, you're concentrating on mostly the bluish and greenish colors. It's bringing out more of that. With saturation, you're working with the warmer colors, the reds and the yellows. Now, just to show you how this works, I'm going to start with desaturate first. And in order to do that, you just come over here and you click on, usually it's the dodge tool that's out there, but I already had the sponge tool activated, but you go over to where the dodge tool is and you scroll down until you get to sponge, and there you have it. And of course you'll pick the size of the brush you want for this. It's just like selecting the brush and the brush tool. With this, you just go over and pick a size. And like I said, I'm going to start out with desaturate, which means we're working with the cooler colors, the greens and the bluish colors. So I'm going to work on just a piece of wall. I'm going to do just the wall with this a little bit so you get an idea what this does. And I'm going to move my flow down to about 40%. Okay, so watch this. Now you'll see the colors changing as I just lightly go over this with the sponge tool. Here it goes. And you can see that it's turning blue, right? So notice how that's changing the color of the area just by doing that. And the more I do it, of course, if I keep going over a certain area over and over and over and over, it's going to get more blue and more blue and more blue. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you was that I'm going to saturate it now. I'm going to saturate this patch over here. And that means we're working on the other end of the color spectrum, which would be the reds and the yellows and the brighter colors. So watch this. Here we go. Now you see that? That's really obvious now. And all depending on how much you use this slider too. I mean, if you want it to be really drastic, we're talking a lot there. So that is what the sponge tool can do for you. And it's real useful when you want to just change brightness or the coolness of a certain area with the sponge button. Okay. One last thing I wanted to point out. In order for the saturation and desaturation tool to work, you have to be on the layer where the photograph is actually at. Otherwise, it won't work. You could try putting it onto other layers, but it's been my experience that on another layer it won't affect it. It's got to be right on the photograph itself. Alright, this has been Mark Elmo Ellis with PhotoshopTrainingForum.com, where we show you how to clearly and concisely use Adobe Photoshop. God bless and have a great day.